Now, for a couple of weeks now, at least, we've been seeing the pictures and hearing reports of the flooding in Somerset. People stranded in their homes, water completely surrounding them, many in need of help. And the news, of course, comes as Gloucestershire braces itself for yet more bad weather this week, and warnings that more floodings could be on our way here too. Ironically, some locals from Gloucestershire, though, have just got back from helping out in Somerset over the weekend. They were asked to go down because the local team is frankly exhausted. They're part of the 4x4 response team. These are volunteers who happen to own 4x4 vehicles, and they offer help to people when disaster strikes. And they've been down to Somerset over the weekend, and they're now back sort of, I guess possibly licking their wounds. One of those members is Hart. He's on the phone now. Good afternoon to you, Ron.
Hi, good afternoon, Anna.
So tell me about what it was like then. Where were you and what kind of things were you doing over the weekend in Somerset?
Okay, we were mainly helping the locals in towns like Mutchelney, Thorney, Drayton, that sort of area, to transport the locals. They've been cut off roughly since Christmas from any, so that they can't get out of the town basically, unless it is either by fire trucks or boats, or in this case for us in using 4x4s.
Yeah, and you were called out on Friday night, and you've basically worked pretty much non-stop, haven't you?
Yeah, that area is normally covered by Wessex 4x4 response, but they put a call out to neighbouring groups sort of late Thursday, so we've been putting a team together. We went down there Friday afternoon, sort of after work basically, so arrived there midnight on Friday, and we've been on the go pretty much every day between 5 a.m. and midnight.
Really? And obviously, just pointing out, you are volunteers. You know, it's just almost coincidence, if you like, that you've got 4x4s and you recognise how important they can be in times like this, and so you put yourselves forward. And you really have made massive effort this past weekend, and then you've got to go back to work and getting on with life when you get back. So you must be able to sort of, how do you work it so that you actually get some rest yourself and keep the work going and real life when you get back?
That's a very good question, actually. Most of us, we're all volunteers, obviously, and most of us have day jobs. We have a few retired people, and it's a bit easier. We actually have a few people of us down in Somerset during the week to cover sort of the weekdays, and the people that have day jobs, they sort of volunteer during the weekend. And like you say, sleep does become an issue. That's something we have to catch up with at some point.
Yeah. And what were the people like then? I imagine they must have been, welcoming you with open arms once you got there.
It's amazing if you consider that those people have been cut off for so long, and they're so grateful. They made a caravan available to us for the few hours we had to sleep, so we could sleep in comfort. They were bringing cakes and then all those sort of different things. They were really, really appreciative of the work we're doing.
Yeah, and I understand even things like the NHS were contacting you, or they need the help, even sort of in that kind of official capacity sometimes.
Yeah, it is, one of the main reasons why the 4x4 response groups exist sort of throughout all of the UK really is to provide essential services like NHS in case of snow, in flooded sort of situations, to get essential staff to hospitals. We do medical supply transport. We can basically transport pretty much anything through any weather.
And obviously there's so much that's tutted about 4x4s. This kind of changes the image completely, doesn't it? Because they're actually then being used for exactly what they were designed for, rather than driving around in Chelsea.
I think that's it. We do have, or they do tend to have a bad name, but in these sort of situations, they're very valuable.
So presumably you might be out and about right here in the county then later in the week if the flooding comes through as predicted.
That's it. We're monitoring the situation. So we are part of or member of the Worcester CVAC, which includes Worcester County Council, Red Cross, St John, all those sort of organisations, NHS, and we also are part of the Gloucester LRF. So we continuously monitor the situation together with them, and as soon as the situation becomes worse, we will be put on standby and ready to go out when needed.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I echo the appreciation of the Somerset residents that you helped over the weekend. I hope you can catch up on some sleep, because we may well be needing you right on the doorstep shortly, Ron. You and the rest of the volunteers. I think so, sadly. Nice to speak to you. Thank you very much. Have some rest. Ron Hart, then, one of the 4x4 response teams locally, who volunteer themselves and their vehicles when the chips are down in this way. They've been down in Somerset because they were desperate down there. They were so exhausted with the locals. They said, can you come down? They've done a whole weekend, pretty much no sleep. They've come back, trying to pick up their lives again for a couple of days before they might be needed right here.